I would have thought that the office would have many, many markers. I would have thought there'd be markers everywhere. Okay, anyway. See where everybody is. Whatever happened to this lady?
My girlfriend, she took care her granddaughter, grandson, because her daughter, her son, have been very busy.
Oh, so she has to take care of the grandchildren.
Yeah,
I hadn't seen her in several days. I was wondering.
Her grandson about 8 months. What was about 8 months?
Oh, wow. Big job.
Not so they take care, not they need take care.
Oh, okay. I guess maybe she won't be back for a while if they're very busy.
Very busy.
We'll get you on there.
Okay, any questions about what we've been discussing? If you watched, had a chance to watch the news last night that from the United Nations in New York, the General Assembly started yesterday, and the President of Brazil, Brazil spoke. The first speaker is normally the President of Brazil, because when it started in 45 or 6, maybe 46, the first person to speak was the President of Brazil. So every year since 1946 or 47 or whatever it started back then, the President of Brazil always speaks first. President Obama, he spoke yesterday.
The father is Brazil.
I don't think there's
Obama, father is Brazil.
What?
Obama, father is Brazil.
His,
Come back Brazil. Obama, father.
his father? Oh, really?
His father.
Oh. Obama spoke yesterday, and he spoke about Syria, the chemical weapons, and the UN resolution to end Syria's use of and possession of chemical weapons. So that was all part of yesterday's news on television. Obama's speech, and the president, I think is he the prime minister? I think he's the president of Iran spoke also, the new president of Iran. He spoke yesterday as well. So this is all happening in New York City the last couple days. In fact, yesterday it was the opening of the General Assembly. And so what we're talking about here, the major powers and all that, are now in New York at the United Nations General Assembly discussing the issue of Syria and the chemical weapons. So that's all going on right now back in New York. The United Nations General Assembly.
Good morning.
Good morning. And they are discussing the UN resolution that we've been talking about. How's that? Can you read that?
The international.
Can you see it?
Yes. Oh, it's it.
Can you see the board?
It's very clear, teacher.
Well, as long as this is okay, it'll be okay. The mark. Okay, now this looks like a long statement, but it's not that complicated once you take a look at it. And remember what I just said a few minutes ago, in New York City, the United Nations is today and yesterday meeting in the General Assembly. And the President of Brazil was the first speaker, President Obama spoke, President of Iran spoke, And one of the major issues being discussed at the General Assembly by the parties and the envoys who have arrived in New York to attend is the question of Syria, the chemical weapons, and the UN resolution as to what to do about it. All of them are in New York today discussing it. If you watched the news last night on the television, or you read the paper this morning, you would have seen or heard what the presidents of those countries said and what is being done about the Syrian chemical weapons question.
Yeah.
Mr. Singh is on top of things. He's obviously,
Maybe politics.
he knows what's going on. So this is not something that happened 6 weeks ago or a year ago. It's happening today in New York. And these matters are being discussed by the heads of state or the envoys that have been sent from various countries to attend the meetings in New York at the United Nations General Assembly. The international consensus on the disarmament plan, the international consensus on the disarmament plan has not carried over into negotiations on the wording of a UN Security Council resolution to back it up. The international consensus on the disarmament plan has not carried over into negotiations on the wording of a UN Security Council resolution to back it up. The Council's 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, and the US, United States, have been wrangling over the text of the resolution since Monday in a bid to find common ground. The international consensus on the disarmament plan has not carried over into negotiations on the wording of a UN Security Council resolution to back it up. The Council's 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, and the US, have been wrangling over the text of the resolution since Monday in a bid to find common ground. Common ground. Okay, give it a try.
The international consensus on the disarmament plan has not carried over into negotiations on the wording of a UN Security Council resolution to back it up. The Council's 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, and the US, have been wrangling over the text of the resolution since Monday in a bid to find common ground.
Very good. Common ground. Not common ground. No, ground. Ground. Common ground. Okay, go ahead.
The international consensus on the disarmament plan has not carried over into negotiation on the wording of a UN Security Council resolution to back it up. The Council 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, and the US have been ranking over text of the resolution since Monday in a bid to find common ground.
Very good. When you look at it, it looks like it's almost impossible to read or too difficult or too long. But when you take it step by step, you'll find out it's not so bad. It's not so difficult. The international consensus on the disarmament plan has not carried over into negotiations on the wording of a UN Security Council resolution to back it up. The Council's 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, and the US, have been wrangling over the text of the resolution since Monday. Today's Wednesday. They've been doing it since Monday. In a bid to find common ground. Go ahead, Mr. Singh.
The international consensus on the disarmament plan has not carried over into negotiations on the wording of the United States Security Council resolution to back it up. The Council's 5 permanent members between China, France, Russia, and the United States have been wrangling over the text of this resolution since Monday in a bid to find common ground.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Very tired.
I know. That's a very difficult, but a very good job, Mr. Singh.
But I have
I don't think
like this way.
I know. I don't think I could have said it
The
better.
information
myself.
is very important, right?
That's what I've been saying for the last 5 years. Pronunciation is important. There's no question about it. Go ahead, Mr. Rick. Give it a try.
The international consensus on the disarmament plan has not carried over into negotiation. Negotiations on the following of UN Security Council resolution to back it up. The Council 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, and the US have been wrangling over the text of the resolution since Monday in a bid to find common ground.
Right, good. The resolution since Monday in a bid to find common ground. The Council's 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, and the US have been wrangling over the text of the resolution since Monday in a bid to find common ground. Go ahead. Go ahead. Don't worry, I'll get it. Don't worry. We don't want anybody to get too comfortable. Surprise, you're next.
The international consensus of the disarmament plan has not carried over into negotiations on the wording of a UN Security Council resolution to back up. The Council's 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, and the US, have been wrangling over the text of the resolution since Monday in a bid to find common ground.
Yeah, right, very good. The council's 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, and the US have been wrangling over the text of the resolution since Monday in a bid to find common ground. Go ahead.
The international consensus on the disarmament plan has not carried over into negotiations on the wording of UN Security Council resolution to back it up. The Council's 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Brazil, and the US, have been wrangling over the text of the resolution since Monday in a bid to find a common ground.
In a bid to find common ground, the Council's 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, and the US, have been wrangling over the text of the resolution since Monday in a bid to find common ground. Go ahead.
The international consensus on this disarmament plan has not carried over into negotiations on the wording of a UN Security Council resolution to back it up. The Council 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, and the US, have been wrangling over the text of the resolution since Monday in a bid to find common ground.
Yeah, right, very good. The U.S. have been wrangling over the text of the resolution since Monday in a bid to find common ground. The 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, and the U.S. Go ahead.
The international consensus on the disarmament plan has not carried over into negotiation on the wording of a UN Security Council resolution to back it up. The Council 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, and the US, have been wrangling over the text of the resolution since Monday in a bid to find common ground.
Right, very good. The international consensus on the disarmament plan. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
The international consensus on the disarmament plan has not carried over into negotiations on the wording of a UN Security Council resolution to back it up. The Council's 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, and the US, have been wrangling over the text of the resolution since Monday in a bid to find common ground.
Right, very good. The international consensus on the disarmament plan has not carried over into negotiations on the wording of a UN Security Council resolution to back it up. the Council's 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, and the U.S., have been wrangling over the text of the resolution since Monday in a bid to find common ground. The international consensus, the gathering together in agreement of the group, the international group at the United Nations General Assembly, they are pretty much in agreement. There is a consensus on the disarmament plan, the plan to have Syria chemical weapons destroyed. Chemical weapons, Syria's chemical weapons. The disarmament, the taking away of the arms that Syria possesses. In this case, the arms are chemical weapons. Everybody's in agreement.
Yeah.
International countries are in agreement that they should be taken away. The disarmament plan is agreed upon. However, that consensus, the agreement of the countries, has not translated into the negotiations on the wording of a Security Council resolution to back it up, to back it up, to back what up? To back up the consensus. We all agree that they should go. The question is, how should they go? They can't seem, the consensus on the idea of getting rid of them has not carried over into the discussions, the negotiations, the discussions on how they should do it. The wording of the Security Council resolution that will back up, will support the consensus to get rid for the disarmament plan. They have the idea that they must go. The question now is, how should they go? Be like us saying, everybody should leave the class. But the question is, how should we leave the class? Who should go first? Who should go second? The wording. How will they disarm? There is disagreement on the wording of the resolution to back up the consensus. The Council's 5 permanent members. The Security Council has members, but 5 of them are permanent. The others rotate.
Yeah,
But the 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, and the United States, have been wrangling, have been in kind of a tussle, in a struggle over the wording, the text, the wording. They just changed it, they used the word wording up here on the wording, and they changed it to text here, that's all, just to change the words around a little bit. Wrangling, struggling over the wording of the resolution. How long have they been doing? Since Monday.
Yeah.
In an effort, in an effort to find common ground. What is common ground?
Basic.
Common ground.
Common ground.
What is common ground? They're trying to find, in an effort to find common ground. Very common expression, actually, common ground. They are trying to find, let's say, a space or ground, so to speak, where everybody is in agreement. We all agree on this, common ground. Everybody is comfortable with this statement.
Yeah.
They're trying to do that,
Common ground.
but they're having a very difficult time because, as you can see, they are wrangling. No, it should be this way. Wait a minute, no, it should be that way. You say this, I say that.
Yeah.
Should we take it away? No, let them have it. We'll see what happens next week.
2 weeks that
They
we
are struggling over the text, the wording, the text, how it reads, the text of the resolution, the statement, the strong statement
Yeah.
on disarmament, and they've been in an effort to find agreement
Yeah.
or common ground. We're all happy in this place. Common ground.
Common ground, can I use the word bargain, reach agreement? Bargain,
Bargain?
to reach agreement.
Bargain.
Yeah, bargain, reach agreement.
Yeah, to bargain would be, if you went to a shop and you wanted to buy a magic marker, and the person said that marker cost 50 baht. 50 baht? Is it possible 40 baht? Well, 45 baht. In effect, you are bargaining back and forth, trying to reach a common ground.
Yes.
A price that you agree with and the salesman agrees with. Common ground to bargain for something that everybody agrees on. Yeah, you could say that. To bargain in an effort to make an effort to try to make a bid to find common ground. Common ground. So this is what's going on at the UN Security Council today. An effort to find a way that everybody agrees that Syria should disarm, and everybody agrees how they should disarm. But that is the problem. The wording. Not so much to do it, no. We all agree, take them away, destroy the weapons. But how? Any questions about the wording, pronunciation, negotiations, discussions, the bargaining, so to speak, negotiate the price, 50 baht, 40 baht, 42 baht, no, 40 baht. They were negotiating the price of the magic marker. They agreed, finally, they negotiated the final price at 45.
Yes.
Negotiations, back and forth, discuss. Back it up, back up what? Back up the consensus, the agreement among the members. Most of the members in a consensus agree that yes, they gotta go, the chemical weapons. The question is how? And they want a resolution to back up the consensus. Any questions?
To back it up in this meaning like support.
Yeah, exactly, to back it up. Support.
Yeah.
There's the expression that you hear, I've got your back. What does that mean? I've got your back.
They got the support. They got the support.
Yeah, somebody says, I've got your back. That means they're looking after you and they're protecting you for something. In the sense that you can't see behind you, but I've got your back, protecting you from things that you might not see. Back it up, support. Support it.
Yeah.
Support what? Support the resolution.
Yes.
Any questions?
Teacher, please explain. Have been lagging over the text.
Okay. Don't understand wrangling over the text? Well, the 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, and the US, are discussing. Let's forget wrangling for a minute, just say discussing. The wording, forget text. They are discussing the wording of the resolution, the statement that will say how Syria is to disarm. How to word the statement. Syria is to do this, they're to do that, they're to do this, they're to do that. They are discussing over the wording of the resolution since Monday in an effort to try to find agreement, common ground. What the problem is that while they are discussing, there is not agreement. They are arguing about, Syria should do this, no, they should do that. Should they do that? No, they should do this. They are arguing over the word, very technical. They should do this today. No, they shouldn't do it today, they should do it tomorrow. Should it be today or tomorrow? So they're arguing about the wording of the resolution, trying to find, in an effort to get agreement as to how they should disarm. And they are struggling, wrangling, in arguing back and forth as to do this or do that. Today? No, tomorrow. Oh, not tomorrow, next Tuesday. Ooh. Can't get it together. Any other questions? Wrangling, struggling, arguing, and basically they're discussing, but in a very rough way. They can't agree. What time should we go to the airport? The plane leaves at noon. Well, we'll go at 8 o'clock. Oh, 8 o'clock? What, are you kidding me? No way. We'll go at 7. Well, wait a minute. Why 7? We got to have breakfast. We can't go. Wrangling. And maybe they'll find common ground and leave at 7:30. Take a taxi. Everybody agrees. Any other questions? Okay. Negotiations, consensus. You can watch the news tonight. If you get a chance to watch the news, you'll see and hear all this stuff on the news program this evening, I'm sure.
Teacher,
Yeah.
why so complicated? Just
Why so complicated? It's a UN issue. It's always going to be complicated. It's one side against the other.
I think just the member to lift the hand, how to do.
Well, wait a minute. I have more here. Maybe this next part will explain a little bit more. This will explain what the argument is about. Why the problem? Why the wrangling? And it all comes down to whose side the country, a particular country, is on.